Good morning, friends. Welcome. West Tennessee Dave here, 6:33 this Friday morning. Friday. What day is it? It's Friday. Hello. Good to see you all. Welcome. Welcome, Sauce. Welcome, Acebla. Welcome, everyone else who's lurking. And good to see you who are on the Twitch VOD or the YouTube VOD. Welcome. You are welcome as well. All right, today we are still smack dab in the middle of the book of Job. And Job and his friends are now dialoguing back and forth at a good clip. And it's going to continue today. It's going to continue again on Sunday, more than likely. I don't know when this journey of the back and forth is going to go. But Job is under massive grief of his loss, grief of even being alive at this moment. He doesn't understand why he just wasn't taken as well. And his friends are trying to logically put explanation on it all. And they're not helping. So let's see if they switch gears at all, or if they just dig their heels in. Here we go. Get a little water and get going. Then Eliphaz the Temanite replied, "A wise man wouldn't answer with such empty talk. You are nothing but a windbag. The wise don't engage in empty chatter. What good are such words? Have you no fear of God, no reverence for him? Your sins are telling your mouth what to say. Your words are based on clever deception. Your own mouth condemns you, not I. Your own lips testify against you. Were you the first person ever born? Were you born before the hills were made? Were you listening at God's secret counsel? Do you have a monopoly on wisdom? What do you know that we don't? What do you understand that we do not? On our side are aged, gray-haired men, much older than your father. Is God's comfort too little for you? Is his gentle word not enough? What has taken away your reason? What has weakened your vision, that you turn against God and say all these evil things? Can any mortal be pure? Can anyone be born of a woman be just? Look, God does not even trust the angels. Even the heavens are not absolutely pure in his sight. How much less pure is a corrupt and sinful person with a thirst for wickedness? If you will listen, I will show you. I will answer you from my own experience, and it is confirmed by the reports of wise men who have heard the same thing from their fathers, from those to whom the land was given long before any foreigners arrived. The wicked writhe in pain throughout their lives. Years of trouble are stored up for the ruthless. The sound of terrors rings in their ears, and even on good days they fear the attack of the destroyer. They dare not go out into the darkness, for they fear they will be murdered. They wander around saying, "Where can I find bread?" They know their day of destruction is near. That dark day terrifies them. They live in distress and anguish, like a king preparing for battle. For they shake their fists at God, defying the Almighty. Holding their strong shields, they defiantly charge against him. These wicked people are heavy and prosperous. Their waists bulge with fat, but their cities will be ruined. They will live in abandoned houses that are ready to tumble down. Their riches will not last, and their wealth will not endure. Their possessions will no longer spread across the horizon. They will not escape the darkness. The burning sun will wither their shoots, and the breath of God will destroy them. Let them no longer fool themselves by trusting in empty riches, for emptiness will be their only reward. They will be cut down in the prime of life. Their branches will never again be green. They will be like a vine whose grapes are harvested too early, like an olive tree that loses its blossom before the fruit can form. For the godless are barren, their homes enriched through bribery will burn. They conceive trouble and give birth to evil. Their womb produces deceit. Then Job spoke again. I've heard all this before. What miserable comforters you are. Won't you ever stop blowing hot air? What makes you keep on talking? I could say the same things if you were in my place. I could spout off criticism and shake my head at you, but if it were me, I would encourage you. I would try to take away your grief. Instead, I suffer if I defend myself, and I suffer no less if I refuse to speak. Good morning, Spacey. Oh God, you have ground me down and devastated my family. As if to prove I have sinned, you have reduced me to skin and bones. My gaunt flesh testifies against me. God hates me and angrily tears me apart. He snaps his teeth at me and pierces me with his eyes. People jeer and laugh at me. They slap my cheek in contempt. A mob gathers against me. God has handed me over to sinners. He has tossed me into the hands of the wicked. I was living quietly until he shattered me. He took me by the neck and broke me in pieces. Then he set me up as his target. And now his archers surround me. His arrows pierce me without mercy. The ground is wet with my blood. Again and again he smashes against me, charging at me like a warrior. I wear burlap to show my grief. My pride lies in the dust. My eyes are red with weeping. Dark shadows circle my eyes. Yet I have done no wrong, and my prayer is pure. Good morning, Erkster. Welcome to the Bible story. O earth, do not conceal my blood. Let it cry out on my behalf. Even now, my witness is in heaven. My advocate is there on high. My friends scorn me, but I pour out my tears to God. I need someone to mediate between me and God, and a person mediates between friends. For soon I must go down to the road from which I will never return. My spirit is crushed. My life is nearly snuffed out. The grave is ready to receive me. I am surrounded by mockers. I watch how bitterly they taunt me. You must defend my innocence, O God, since no one else will stand up for me. You have closed their minds to understanding, but do not let them triumph. They betray their friends for their own advantage, so let their children faint with hunger. God has made a mockery of me among the people. They spit in my face. My eyes are swollen with weeping. I am but a shadow of my former self. The virtuous are horrified when they see me. The innocent rise up against the ungodly. The righteous keep moving forward, and those with clean hands become stronger and stronger. As for all of you, come back with a better argument, though I still won't find a wise man among you. My days are over. My hopes have disappeared. My heart's desires are broken. These men say that night is day. They claim that the darkness is light. What if I go to the grave and make my bed in darkness? What if I call the grave my father, and the maggot my mother or my sister? Where then is my hope? Can anyone find it? No, my hope will go down with me to the grave. We will rest together in the dust. Then Bildad the Shuhite replied, How long before you stop talking? Speak sense if you want us to answer. Do you think we are mere animals? Do you think we are stupid? You may tear out your hair in anger, but will that destroy the earth? Will it make the rocks tremble? Surely the light of the wicked will be snuffed out. The sparks of their fire will not glow. The light in their tent will grow dark. The lamp hanging above them will be quenched. The confident stride of the wicked will be shortened. Their own schemes will be their downfall. The wicked walk into a net. They fall into a pit. A trap grabs them by the heel. A snare holds them tight. A noose lies hidden on the ground. A rope is stretched across their path. Terrors surround the wicked and trouble them at every step. Hunger depletes their strength, and calamity awaits for them to stumble. Disease eats their skin, death devours their limbs. They are torn from the security of their homes and are brought down to the King of Terrors. The homes of the wicked will burn down. Burning sulfur rains on their houses. Their roots will dry up, and their branches will wither. All memory of their existence will fade from the earth. No one will remember their names. They will be thrust from light into darkness, driven from the world. They will have neither children nor grandchildren, nor any survivor in the place where they lived. People in the west are appalled at their fate. People in the east are horrified. They will say, "This was the home of a wicked person, the place of one who rejected God." Then Job spoke again. "How long will you torture me? How long will you try to crush me with your words? You have already insulted me 10 times. You should be ashamed of treating me so badly. Even if I had sinned, that is my concern, not yours. You think you're better than I am? Using my humiliation as evidence of my sin? But it is God who has wronged me, capturing me in his net. I cry out, 'Help!' but no one answers me. I protest, but there is no justice. God has blocked my way so that I cannot move. He has plunged my path into darkness. He has stripped me of my honor and removed the crown from my head. He has demolished me on every side, and I am finished. He has uprooted my hope like a fallen tree. His fury burns against me. He counts me as an enemy. His troops advance. They build up roads to attack me. They camp all around my tent. My relatives stay far away, and my friends have turned against me. My family is gone, and my close friends have forgotten me. My servants and maids consider me a stranger. I'm like a foreigner to them. When I call my servant, he doesn't come. I have to plead with him. My breath is repulsive to my wife. I'm rejected by my own family. Even young children despise me. When I stand to speak, they turn their backs on me. My close friends detest me. Those I love have turned against me. I have been reduced to skin and bones, and have escaped death by the skin of my teeth. Have mercy on me, my friends. Have mercy, for the hand of God has struck me. Must you also persecute me, like God does? Haven't you chewed me up enough? Oh, that my words could be recorded. Oh, that they could be inscribed on a monument, carved with an iron chisel and filled with lead, engraved forever in the rock. But as for me, I know that my Redeemer lives, and he will stand upon the earth at last. And after my body has decayed, yet in my body, I will see God. I will see him for myself. Yes, I will see him with my own eyes. I am overwhelmed at that thought. How dare you go on persecuting me, saying it's his own fault? Should you fear punishment yourselves? For your attitude deserves punishment. Then you will know that there is indeed a judgment." Then Zophar the Naamathite replied, "I must reply, because I am greatly disturbed. I've had to endure your insults, but now my spirit prompts me to reply. Don't you realize that from the beginning of time, ever since people were first placed on the earth, the triumph of the wicked has been short-lived, and the joy of the godless has been only temporary? Though the pride of the godless reaches to the heavens, and their heads touch the clouds, yet they will vanish forever, thrown away like their own dung. Those who knew them will ask, 'Where are they?' They will fade like a dream and not be found. They will vanish like a vision in the night. Those who once saw them will see them no more. Their families will never see them again. Their children will beg from the poor, for they must give back their stolen riches. Though they are young, their bones will lie in the dust. They enjoyed the sweet taste of wickedness, letting it melt under their tongue. They savored it, holding it long in their mouths. But suddenly the food in their bellies turned sour, a poisonous venom in their stomach. They will vomit the wealth they swallowed. God won't let them keep it down. They will suck the poison of cobras. The viper will kill them. They will never again enjoy streams of olive oil or rivers of milk and honey. They will give back everything they worked for. Their wealth will bring them no joy, for they oppressed the poor and left them destitute. They foreclosed on their homes. They were always greedy and never satisfied. Nothing remains of all the things they dreamed about. Nothing is left after they finish gorging themselves. Therefore, their prosperity will not endure. In the midst of plenty, they will run into trouble and be overcome by misery. May God give them a belly full of trouble. May God rain down his anger upon them. When they try to escape an iron weapon, a bronze-tipped arrow will pierce them. An arrow is pulled from their back, and the arrowhead glistens with blood. The terrors of death are upon them. Their treasures will be thrown into deepest darkness. Wildfire will devour their goods, consuming all they have left. The heavens will reveal their guilt, and the earth will testify against them. A flood will sweep away their house. God's anger will descend on them in torrents. This is the reward that God gives the wicked. It is the inheritance decreed by God. Good morning, Pop Plucker. Good to see you. Then Job spoke again. Listen closely to what I'm saying. That's one consolation you can give me. Bear with me and let me speak. After I've spoken, you may resume mocking me. My complaint is with God, not with people. I have good reason to be so impatient. Look at me and be stunned. Put your hand over your mouth in shock. When I think about what I am saying, I shudder. My body trembles. Why do the wicked prosper, growing old and powerful? They live to see their children go up and settle down. They enjoy their grandchildren. Their homes are safe from every fear, and God does not punish them. Their bulls never fail to breed. Their cows bear calves and never miscarry. They let their children frisk about like lambs. Their little ones skip and dance. They sing with tambourine and harp. They celebrate to the sound of the flute. They spend their days in prosperity, then go down to grave in peace. And yet they say to God, "Go away. We want no part of you and your ways. Who is the Almighty, and why should we obey him? What good will it do us to pray?" They think their prosperity is of their own doing, but I will have nothing to do with that kind of thinking. Yet the light of the wicked never seems to be extinguished. Do they ever have trouble? Does God distribute sorrows to them in anger? Are they driven before the wind like straw? Are they carried away by the storm like chaff? Not at all. Well, you say, at least God will punish their children. But I say he should punish the one who sinned, so that they understand his judgment. Let them see their destruction with their own eyes. Let them drink deeply of the anger of the Almighty, for they will not care what happens to their family after they are dead. But who can teach a lesson to God, since he judges even the most powerful? One person dies in prosperity, completely comfortable and secure, the picture of good health, vigorous and fit. Another person dies in bitter poverty, never having tasted the good life. Both are buried in the same dust, both eaten by the same maggots. Look, I know what you're thinking. I know the schemes you plot against me. You will tell me of rich and wicked people whose houses have vanished because of their sins. But ask those who have been around, and they will tell you the truth. Evil people are spared in times of calamity and are allowed to escape disaster. No one criticizes them openly or pays them back for what they have done. When they are carried to the grave, an honor guard keeps watch at their tomb. A great funeral procession goes to the cemetery. Many pay their respects as their body is laid to rest, and the earth gives sweet repose. How can your empty cliches comfort me? All your explanations are lies. Then Eliphaz the Temanite replied, "Can a person do anything to help God? Can even a wise person be helpful to him? Is it any advantage to the Almighty if you are righteous? Would it be any gain to him if you were perfect? Is it because you're so pious that he accuses you and brings judgment against you? No, it's because of your wickedness. There's no limit to your sins. For example, you must have lent money to your friend and demanded clothing as security. Yes, you stripped him to the bone. You must have refused water for the thirsty and food for the hungry. You probably think the land belongs to the powerful, and only the privileged have a right to it. You must have sent widows away empty handed and crushed the hopes of orphans. That is why you are surrounded by traps and tremble from sudden fears. That is why you cannot see in the darkness, and waves of water cover you. God is so great, higher than the heavens, higher than the farthest stars. But you reply, that's why God can't see what I'm doing. How can he judge through the thick darkness? For the thick clouds swirl about him, and he cannot see us. He is way up there, walking on the vault of heaven. Will you continue on the old paths where evil people have walked? They were snatched away in the prime of life, the foundations of their lives washed away. For they said to God, leave us alone. What can the Almighty do to us? Yet he was the one who filled their homes with good things. So I will have nothing to do with that kind of thinking. The righteous will be happy to see the wicked destroyed, and the innocent will laugh in contempt. They will say, see how our enemies have been destroyed. The last of them have been consumed in the fire. Submit to God, and you will have peace. Then things will go well for you. Listen to his instructions, and store them in your heart. If you return to the Almighty, you will be restored. So clean up your life. If you give up your lust for money and throw your precious gold into the river, the Almighty himself will be your treasure, and he will be your precious silver. Then you will take delight in the Almighty and look up to God. You will pray to him, and he will hear you, and you will fulfill your vows to him. You will succeed in whatever you choose to do, and the light will shine on the road ahead of you. If people are in trouble and you say, help them, God will save them. Even sinners will be rescued. They will be rescued because your hands are pure. Then Job spoke again. My complaint today is still a bitter one, and I try hard not to groan aloud. If only I knew where to find God, I would go to his court. I would lay out my case and present my arguments. Then I would listen to his reply and understand what he says to me. Would he use his great power to argue with me? No, he would give me a fair hearing. Honest people can reason with him, so I would be forever acquitted by my judge. I go east, but he is not there. I go west, but I cannot find him. I do not see him in the north, for he is hidden. I look to the south, but he is concealed. But he knows where I am going, and when he tests me, I will come out as pure as gold. For I have stayed on God's paths. I have followed his ways and have not turned aside. I have not departed from his commands, but have treasured his words more than daily food. But once he has made his decision, who can change his mind? Whatever he wants to do, he does. So he will do to me whatever he has planned. He controls my destiny. No wonder I am so terrified in his presence. When I think of it, terror grips me. God has made me sick at heart. The Almighty has terrified me. Darkness is all around me. Thick, impenetrable darkness is everywhere. Why doesn't the Almighty bring the wicked to judgment? Why must the godly wait for him in vain? Evil people steal land by moving the boundary markers. They steal livestock and put them in their own pastures. They take the orphan's donkey and demand the widow's ox as a security for a loan. The poor are pushed off the path. The needy must hide together for safety. Like wild donkeys in the wilderness, the poor must spend all their time looking for food, searching even in the desert for food for their children. They harvest a field they do not own, and they glean in the vineyards of the wicked. All night they lie naked in the cold, without clothing or covering. They are soaked by mountain showers, and they huddle against the rocks for want of a home. The wicked snatch a widow's child from her breast, taking the baby as security for a loan. The poor must go about naked without any clothing. They harvest food for others while they themselves are starving. They press out olive oil without being allowed to taste it, and they tread in the winepress as they suffer from thirst. The groans of the dying rise from the city, and the wounded cry for help. Yet God ignores their moaning. Wicked people rebel against the light. They refuse to acknowledge its ways or stay in its path. The murderer rises in the early dawn to kill the poor and needy. At night, he is a thief. The adulterer waits for the twilight, saying, "No one will see me then." He hides his face so no one will know him. Thieves break into houses at night and sleep in the daytime. They are not acquainted with the light. The black night is their morning. They ally themselves with the terrors of the darkness, but they disappear like foam down a river. Everything they own is cursed, and they are afraid to enter their own vineyards. The grave consumes sinners, just as drought and heat consume snow. Their own mothers will forget them. Maggots will find them, sweet to eat. No one will remember them. Wicked people are broken like a tree in the storm. They cheat the woman who has no son to help her. They refuse to help the needy widow. God, in his power, drags away the rich. They may rise high, but they have no assurance of life. They may be allowed to live in security, but God is always watching them. And though they are great now, in a moment they will be gone like all others, cut off like heads of grain. Can anyone claim otherwise? Who can prove me wrong? Okay, we have finished today's section here. I mean, every time I read this, I am struck by how much these cliches or these cliches and words of wisdom, honestly, like the words that these friends are saying are things that anyone who's been around the Bible for a while would likely say. Right? There's this mantra of thinking that if things are going bad in your life, it is because you have sinned. And so much of what is preached in Christianity today, and even throughout time, has been, if things are going bad in your life, you have sinned. You have done something wrong. And so repent, turn around, stop doing evil, come back to God and restore what you've done wrong. And of course, like, this message has been the prevailing message throughout time of, the Jews during this time frame and everything else, right? Going forward, that when you've done wrong, you've offended God, and you need to repay and restore what you've done wrong. And that's what his friends, they're digging their heels in onto this message, right? Because this is the message that they understand of the story. The story is about human beings doing wrong and needing to get back to God. And so let's just go back for a minute. Let's go back all the way to the beginning story of the Bible. So God created the world, okay? He created all the things in it. He created the light and the darkness. He created all these things. And then he puts people, the last part is of the creation, he puts people in, then he rests. And the first people are navigating life and doing what they're supposed to do. And yes, they do sin. They mess up. Okay? But who encouraged the mess up? Right? Like, we put all the blame back on people, pretty much, because it's just what we do. It's what we do in life. Okay? But the first people, generally, let's go back. First, God confronts Adam, and it's like, what have you done? And Adam's like, well, the woman gave me the fruit and I ate from it, right? He points the blame. Okay. And so then God turns to the woman, and the woman says, well, the serpent told me to do it, so I did it. And then God deals with the serpent. He gives judgment to the serpent first, then he deals with the people. Okay, so the serpent, aka the devil, the snake, the deceiver. Okay, and as it said in the beginning of this story in Job, it says the accuser. Like this part of the story of the accuser, the snake, the deceiver, right? We see it at the beginning, but we see zero mention of it throughout any of these friends' back and forth dialogue, right? So often in life, the accuser and the deceiver and the one who starts this business, who starts us down the wrong path, do you think God is up there trying to start us down the wrong path? I mean, that's just a question you have to ask. And I think the answer is no. I think we can easily say that. Okay, God doesn't start us down the wrong path. Now, in this story, it's like probably the most question mark, because God is like, do you see my servant Job? Like, he is so proud of Job, right? Because Satan comes and reports to him and says, I'm wandering about looking for people to, I don't know, deceive or whatever. Who knows what he's doing, right? He's an accuser and a deceiver, right? And he's like, yeah, but just Job does it for all these reasons, like your blessing and all these other stuff, right? The things that these people keep talking about to him, like, all these blessings will come. God gives all these blessings to you because he loves you and you do well, right? And again, so you see the crux of this. Satan's saying the exact same thing. He's saying, look, people only get blessings because you, God, you bless them, and so because you bless them, they worship you. They're honoring you. But if you don't, they'll curse you to your face, right? And the friends are kind of saying the same thing. Look, you've sinned. You've done wrong. That's why all these bad things are happening to you, right? Well, we don't see any sin from Job in the storyline. We don't. And Job keeps telling them, look, guys, I understand your thinking. I have been down that thinking path myself. He's probably thought about it, right? He sat there for a week, not saying anything. He probably, if you just sit still for a week with your own thoughts and you think about how miserable your life is for a moment, you probably will try to go through everything like, did I do something wrong? Do I deserve this punishment? And Job's like, look, I haven't done anything, and so I don't understand what's happening, right? Because we're forgetting that somebody else could be present in part of the storyline. And that somebody else is the devil. And we don't hear any mention of it at all after this just back and forth between God and the devil, right? And so to just ignore the fact that the devil was present at all, or could have some influence over your life, is a little naive. And that is kind of what we're seeing here, because then you're only left with the conclusions the friends can come to, if that makes sense of everything, right? And making sense of everything is like the human behavior in us that we have wanted since the beginning of time. And why? What did they take? They took, at the very beginning of time, Adam and Eve took from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, right? The knowledge of good and evil is then what? Humans being able to understand without God. And that's where we're stuck. We're stuck in that place right now. understanding without God. We don't need God to tell us to make the understanding come to light to us. All right, and so the friends have dug in on that mantra. Like, we have all this wisdom, we're telling it to you. This is the understanding of people throughout time. It's been told to us. There's no more than that. But Job's like, I don't know what to do, guys. I'm in a desperate place because I know all that wisdom, and there's no grid now. There's no grid left because I'm in this place where I haven't done wrong, yet all these things that seem to be happening to somebody who has done wrong, as we understand it, are happening to me. And so he's like, look, the only way I can get the knowledge now is by God speaking. That's the only way. Like, you guys can't tell me. I know that story. I've been part of that story. I get it. But now God has opened my mind through all this pain and suffering that there is something else there. And the only way I'm going to learn what actually is transpiring is if God speaks. And he's like, why do you guys keep just telling me I'm doing wrong? Right? Because that's the only mantra you can have, right? And so this concept is supposed to open our eyes and our minds and our hearts and our thinking to the fact that we don't know everything. Like, we just can't know everything. The grid of understanding is impossible. We're going to read a story much later. I'm just going to go into it, but I think it plays into the same thing. Okay? So, fast forward a long way from here. Jesus is on the scene, and he's walking along with his disciples, and you might not know any of the story, but they see a blind man. And his disciples say kind of the same principle. They go, teacher, that's what they always call Jesus, teacher, whose sin caused this man to be blind? Right? Because they, again, they have the same, if you think that it has changed throughout time, even after the story of Job, or you think it has changed since the time of Adam and Eve, or you think it's changed since the time of Jesus, or it's changed since the time of now, it's like, why was this man born blind? Whose sin was it, right? His or his parents? That's what they asked, right? And Jesus responds with something totally different. It's totally a paradigm shift, right? And this is the same paradigm shift that Job is trying to get to right now. Okay? Jesus said to them, he responds, it was no sin of either him or his parents. It wasn't sin at all that he was born blind. He was born blind so that the glory of God could be displayed through him. Okay, that's what Jesus says. And so back to this story. God is trying to show Job, probably, and his friends the glory of God, even through Job's suffering here, right? He was trying to show how righteous Job was to the world and to Satan, okay? Now, Job seems to be kind of mad at God, and frankly, I mean, I get it. If that's your viewpoint, that blessings come, if blessings come because you obey and do what's right, and then all the blessings are taken away, you feel there's injustice, and your understanding is, well, God was in charge of it, right? And so he's kind of mad, this is unjust. How can the just God that I understand let injustice happen to me? And that's the question that so many people, like we said it last time, so many people ask, how can this happen, right? And so often the story is bigger than just that. The story is bigger than just you and God. The story is bigger than that. Yes, God is in your story. He wants to be all part of your story. But your story is interconnected to others as well. And your story is also interconnected with Satan and the devil just as well. And that is kind of unnerving. It's kind of unnerving. And what it should lead to is us not trusting our own understanding. It should lead us to this place of, just like Job is doing here, when things are happening in your life, you should go back to God in prayer, in everything else, and say, God, what's happening here? And wait for his response. And that's why Job's like, guys, just be quiet. Like, I'm trying to wait out God here. I've asked him and I'm waiting, and you guys have come and you're not helping. And like is there anything worse than a friend coming over and not helping? Like, when you're down and a friend just keeps like just, like joking around with you and trying to like uplift you in a weird way when you're just not ready for it. Is there anything worse in life? I'm not sure. Like, to be present to the right moment and attitude is a true gift from God. To be silent and present to somebody, and to not condemn them, and to not say, you're just wrong here. Like, to say, you know what, there just might be more to the story than we understand. Let's pray. Let's find out. Let's seek God together, and not just start with understanding, but start with curiosity to seek God for answers to every situation. That is wisdom. Because it starts from a place of humbleness. It starts from a place of listening to a friend. It starts with a place of, I can speak God's truth at some point, not just the stuff that I have like gleaned from my Bible study and my understanding of and what people have passed down to me, but like, God is speaking. God's words are going to bring us life and comfort here. And that's what Job's after. And he's steadfast. I mean, sometimes you have to be steadfast. He is steadfast that unless God speaks to the grid here, no answer is going to make sense. I understand the same wisdom that you guys do, right? This wisdom is available to us. I need something beyond this world to make sense of it. And we all do sometimes. We all need that. So, if you've relied on your own wisdom and it still hasn't maybe helped you understand the grid, that's your opportunity. Say, like, this is what Job's trying to teach us here. Like, even despair, or in all the depths of emotional things that we can go through, right? Even in the things that, as I said before, like, pull most people away from God, like losing somebody that's close to us, losing a job, losing a loved one, losing your health. These are oftentimes when the moment comes where we either choose to press into God or we choose to abandon him and go to the wisdom of this world. And good luck with whichever path you choose, right? But God will help us if we choose his path, if we choose to go down that path. and he has the words of wisdom beyond any human capacity. So choose today who you want to go after. And when you're in the boat to help somebody, also choose to just be still and wait for God to speak on the matter. All right. I hope that helps. Hope that helps. I know it's hard. It's hard. These are hard places. Grief is one of the hardest things in life. So I wish that this book was helpful so far, but it's just showing how typically unhelpful we are. And that's a sad thing. I mean, but that's why I love the Bible. It's not showing, oh, this is the perfect solution for every single thing. It's showing how people are imperfect. So you're in good company. You're in good company with being imperfect. Even if you're desiring perfection, you know how fleeting it is to actually get it in your own life. And if your friends have let you down, like, you're in good company. Job was in the same boat. It happens. It's gonna happen to you. Like, it's just the inevitability of life. We're gonna go through tough seasons, and we need our friends to really come through for us at times. And God wants to show us that he's the one that will come through for us at the end of the day. All right. Thanks for being here today. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. It's a wonderful day. Hopefully you guys have a nice weekend planned. I will be back with you guys Sunday morning for the next session. The continuation of this story. I think we're over halfway done. So let's see here. Let's look. How far does this go? I don't think we're gonna finish the book Sunday, but yeah, probably not. Probably not. It'll probably finish up on Tuesday. So, yep. Have a great weekend, everyone. Great to see you all. I will see you guys on Sunday morning and then Sunday evening and Monday for study stream. So, thank you for that. Good luck with whatever you're doing this weekend, whether it's playing cards, whether it's going to church, whether it's just hanging out with friends, use these stories that we've learned. It's good to tell stories like this. It's good to tell stories of triumph and defeat and everything in between, and use them as starting points for just great discussions with friends. So anyways, thanks for hanging out. I will see you guys again shortly. Until then, have a great weekend.